And finally, in Europe, Poland, led by Prime Minister Donald Tusk, is locking horns with the European Union over its migration pact. The agreement, designed to share the burden of asylum seekers, now faces rebellion from a nation stretched by geopolitical crisis. Prime Minister Tusk's defiance echoes nationalist waves, just like President Trump's crackdown on illegal migrants in the United States. Our final story brings you more.
Poland's refusal to implement the European Union's migration pact mirrors global nationalist surges. And the European Commission remains silent on legal action, avoiding a brewing showdown. The EU pact, hailed as a historic breakthrough, seeks to manage asylum seekers collectively. Yet Poland's defiance threatens its implementation before it even begins. Prime Minister Donald Tusk, who casts himself as Poland's protector, has made it clear migrants will be deported.
I have made a decision and asked the Minister of the Interior and Administration and the Minister of Justice to put forward a rapid plan for an immediate response to organized crime and violent crime by foreigners. Anyone who is hosted in Poland, takes advantage of our hospitality, and violates the law in a violent manner will be deported from Poland.
His hardline stance mirrors Donald Trump's anti-migrant crusade in America. Both leaders tap into nationalist fears, transforming migration into a political weapon. And this narrative appeals to citizens who view migrants as a threat to security and cultural identity. Drawing a red line, Tusk declared, Poland will not accept additional burdens, full stop. Because Poland faces dual pressures, Ukrainian refugees and Belarusian manipulation, the war in Ukraine has driven millions into Poland seeking temporary shelter. At the same time, Belarus weaponizes migration by funneling irregular migrants across Poland's eastern border. These crises have stretched Poland's resources, making the country reluctant to shoulder more responsibility.
The situation has changed in the last few months. As what I have already mentioned during the press briefing, we currently have fewer illegal attempts to cross the border itself. And the second thing is that it's for a few weeks when it comes to aggression from migrants. I will tell you that even the last few days, 3 or 4 days in a row when there are 0 border crossings.
It was September, October, were the most aggressive, and I don't even know if they were immigrants, if they were not simply people whose task was to discourage our soldiers, or simply to overpower soldiers, or to instill fear among soldiers. They used, among other things, slingshots with steel balls. There were used dangerous, sharp tools thrown over the fence.
Despite these pressures, the EU pact offers 3 options: hosting asylum seekers, paying financial contributions, or providing operational support. The solidarity mechanism aims to distribute burdens fairly across member states. However, Poland rejects all options, framing the pact as forced compliance, and Tusk's defiance fuels nationalist sentiment, rallying voters who fear cultural dilution. His rhetoric taps into a growing European movement, prioritizing sovereignty over shared responsibility. However, the European Commission's silence speaks volumes about their unity. Other nations, especially Hungary led by Prime Minister Viktor Orban, have expressed similar resistance. Germany's recent election too saw the growing popularity of the far-right AfD party, who promised to close down German borders for asylum seekers. And if Poland's defiance goes unchallenged, other nations too could back out. The pact's credibility could crumble because the pact's success hinges on cooperation. With implementation set for 2026, tensions simmer beneath the surface. Poland's rebellion reveals a deeper struggle, national identity clashing with shared European obligations. The EU must navigate this minefield carefully. If the Commission missteps, the pact could unravel even before it begins. Poland's hardline stance may reshape Europe's future as the continent faces a critical test: unity or fragmentation in the face of one of its most pressing challenges.
Merci beaucoup. Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Namaste, Mr. President.
Bharat Kelogon, Komeri Namaste.
How many people generally follow you in interviews?
Typically in a month, we have viewers up to 150 million. That's more than twice the population of France. And in the last 2 years, we had 3 billion viewers. So I say, Laurent, this is your chance to be famous. You're on Firstpost. One word to describe your equation with Prime Minister Modi.
Amity.
As India and France work together, are you creating a new era of non-alignment in the technology space?
India is a training superpower. 1 million engineers a year, more than all of Europe and the US combined. So we have that partnership. We have a partnership on the environment and the economy. We also have civilian nuclear programs. And that is something we've developed far beyond the France-India relationship. So we want to work together on AI.
And then comes China with its DeepSeek, creating models at a fraction of the cost. Did that innovation take you by surprise? Did that breakthrough make you sit up and think, what did the Chinese do and how?
But what did DeepSeek do? They took everything that was already available from the last AI model and then they recalibrated it.
So are you going to ban Chinese AI in France?
So we don't have this American approach of banning tech because of where it comes from.